Hi, I'm Dorian, or Leviathan to my friends, and I'm an eldritch abomination lurking in the corners of your attic. I'm also here to help you figure out that pesky art style thing. I'll be that helpful NPC that'll point you onto the right path, or at least semi-helpful NPC that definitely won't betray you or break your heart into 1,000 tiny little pieces after spending hundreds of hours with you in game. Anyway, onwards to the advice. This may seem controversial in some art community circles, but the best thing you can really do is study artists that you really like. For example, do you like the way somebody draws hair? Well, then ask yourself why you like the way that they draw hair, and if maybe you want to put that into your own artwork. Some big influences in my own art are MLRD, Matt Rhodes, Cakey Bakey, Dear Lord Hunter, Groove, and in general, the art style of the Arcana. A good example of this is with the way that I color my own line art. For the longest time, I didn't really know how to make my own art pop after refining it. And then I found the art of Cakey Bakey over on Tumblr. She does this thing where she colors her line art, particularly within the facial structure and within the forms of the clothing. And it really is just super aesthetically pleasing to my own eye. Once I finally tried that and figured out how to do it, I honestly never went back. It's been in my art lexicon for years at this point. There's nothing wrong with taking a critical look at somebody's art style and trying to emulate it within your own art in your own way. Do style studies and Frankenstein stuff. Just do it ethically. We don't actually want a metaphorical, bloodthirsty corpse roaming around the art community in the form of discourse. I've had too many of those in the past. If you're a little confused on how to avoid that, I've got a couple tips for you that will hopefully help. A really awesome piece of advice that I came across recently was from fellow YouTuber Kelsey Rodriguez, and she suggested that you make a Pinterest board of all the art styles that you specifically want to emulate. It seems so simple, but this is the one thing that helped me immensely. Practice a lot with your references and think about how you can incorporate each part of those little style things that you really like into the piece that you are creating. And do this over and over and over again, and you will find your particular style. We don't ever want to trace somebody's artwork though, we just want to study it, so keep that in mind. The other thing that's helped me quite a lot is having an art buddy. Now, I'm lucky enough to have a partner who is an artist and also has a genuine art degree. He's the holy grail, I swear. When I have issues figuring out how an artist got something to be a certain way, I will simply just turn around to him and ask his opinion on it. If you don't have an art husband on hand though, store-bought is also fine. And by store-bought, I mean surround yourself with fellow artists, join art servers, and befriend people who can give you the art advice that you seek. We artists tend to self-isolate a lot, and it can be lonely work, but it doesn't have to be. I know I've been prattling on about having a specific kind of art style, but it is also incredibly important to be flexible. Jack of all trades artists are leagues ahead of us plebes who get really stuck within one certain art style and really struggle to adhere to a brief. A lot of studios already have an art style in mind for certain projects, so having an ever-changing art style kind of helps you in the long run. Don't listen to the elitists who might say, you need to be doing things one way and one way only. That's not how any of this works, Sharon. Art is an ever-changing amalgamation of all of our thoughts and ideas. It's flexible, which leads perfectly into the last little piece of advice that I have for you today. Stop comparing yourself to other artists. We are perfectionists and our own worst enemies as creators. Just because someone with 180k followers and the coolest art style ever is having the time of their lives now, it doesn't mean that they didn't have to crawl through hell to be able to find their way to the top. We all start somewhere, and our art journeys are just that. Journeys. If you find that you're comparing yourself to others, stop, take a break, and breathe. No one wakes up one morning suddenly able to draw a cat girl perfectly. Try as one might. Sometimes your work needs to look like Sugar Neko Girls before it can be a perfectly airbrushed goddess who happens to have fox ears on her head. Cut yourself some slack, okay? Hopefully all this rambling helped. Art styles are a deeply personal thing, and it might take some time for you to be able to develop your own, but it doesn't have to be hard. Take your time, do some studies, and you'll have it down in no time. Just don't look in your attic. That won't help you at all, especially if you hear some chanting. Special thank you to Jacques, Herald of the Dark Roast, Meg, Exarch of the Golden Egg, High Artisan Anonymous B, Great Alpha Wolf Squilliam William, Nairuz, Seer of Rosy Mercy, Ghost, Infernal Collector of the Damned, Golden Paladin Court, Isabella, Redeemer of Bad Himbos, Keeper of the Lapin Warren, Robin, Most Royal of all the Rats, Ethereal Consort of House Vicarian, Fungal Sovereign Tass, Exalted Curator Wick, the Under-Elf of Delphinia, Paragon of Starlight, an impossible amount of rat babies, Divine Herald Jordan, Estrella, Sage of the Outer Realms, Wretched Sauce of House Worcestershire, Champion Pallypunk of the Immortal Valley, Tailor of Macabre Coney Livery, Eternal Apostle Austin, the Contingent of Fables, the Eminence of Light, Bunny, Exarch of the Ornate Tomb, Harley the Sanguinous, Grand Overlord Silas, Being of Exalted Sunlight, Delegate of Clan Latiners, Eternal Consul Pooja, High Magi Katie, and the Herald of Wrens.